So I had to go and get your book.
Silas.
I can
That's
still
quite
hold
the
them with
meaty
one
hog you got
hand
there.
right now. Sort of.
Jacob's asking, how's it going?
See?
Look at that pile. What a beautiful thing. I mean, I have one of each in a basket beside me. But, yeah, I haven't even got my author copies yet for The Reckoning. People have read it, before it's even published, so yay. Yeah, it's a little weird. Sigil? Is it Sigil? Is that what
That's Layla.
Layla.
Yeah. Her thing got messed up. She was trying to add an author shop.
It's a little weird, Layla, because everybody wants to collect every edition. So, like, I'm publishing my 8th book. So my 7th, no, wait a minute, what am I working on now? I'm publishing my 8th book on the 19th. And people have, like, multiple copies of each one. It's wild. Oh no, it's the old man. The old man. Oh, David, you're in the category now, bro. You're an old man. One of us.
The original cover of the Atlantis Paradox.
Oh my God, the new covers are just stunning.
It's on the way. It just hasn't got here yet.
I'm still waiting for mine too. They've been shipped. They're just not here yet.
And I did pre-order The Reckoning, but it wouldn't let me do the paperback. So
yeah, it's weird like that. It's all ready to go, regardless. I've just walked away from it. There's no more I want to do to it. I've done all the things I can do to it. It's as perfect as it's going to get. Can I be in the boys club too? Of course. Well, David's the godfather of the club, so you'll have to ask him. I just go where David tells me to go.
I see how you ignore my old man comment.
I didn't see it. Oh no. What's up, my bros? I got that. I see that one. Sorry, Jacob. You're not being ignored, I promise.
Jacob, last one I see is how it's hanging. Oh, Jared and David, what's up, bro? I had to scroll up a ways to see that one.
I'm on a little bit of a writing break. Just a few days. Pull myself back together. And I'm working on volume 4. I'm getting into the 5th chapter, so I'm making some progress. Just should get what you want.
Jared, were you in there when I was reading one of Addie's comments earlier about
I don't know. I'm
in the lantern?
Yes, that was funny. Yep. That's right up there with Elam's got 3 arms. Or Jacob's ghosts.
May have gotten censored. I don't know. I didn't see anything, bud. Addie, I read one of your comments earlier because I thought it was so funny.
Had to do with lighting a lantern?
Yep.
Don't light that person into flames. Oh, one of my favorite comments from Addie was for the Mighty Chain. She's like, "Where are all these tablets coming from? Are they just magically appearing? Does Gathar suddenly have? Is Gathar suddenly a master wizard or a sorcerer or something like that?" It was just funny.
Mac, I'm not doing boxes tonight. It's just with Jeremy.
What's up, Mac? Yeah, asking for the Jeremy treatment. It's dangerous, isn't it, David?
Hey, if it makes the book better, I mean, I'm all for it.
Yeah, that's why you want to work with dev editors and line and copy editors who really shoot you straight. They don't give you any fluffy dancing around sugarcoating crap. They give it to you straight, and you take it like a champ.
Yeah.
You know, take it on the chin
No
and keep
worries,
going.
Matt. So most of everyone here knows who you are, but for those that don't, you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Jeremy Morang. I am a soft sci-fi fantasy author. I'm publishing my 8th book in an ongoing series to include expanded universe material the 19th of this month. I published my 7th in March, and the next one's coming up, and I'm working every day on the next one, Volume 4.
So this was his 7th one.
Yeah.
See if I can mirror this damn thing. Reach.
Ambassador Willow is the culmination of a trilogy of a small suite within the story that all ties back into the main story. So everything is a choose your own adventure. There are rules to it, but it is kind of a choose your own adventure. Read it in any direction you want, and it's all going to take you right back to the same spot.
Well,
Oh, much love, Jacob.
Had to show both of them, you know.
I get 2 copies.
Well, one is the signed copy, so.
Yeah, I'm weird like that. I'll send a signed copy and an empty copy. TikTok is lagging.
A little bit.
Yeah, it's been on one lately. I just wanted to say thanks to everybody for coming around for a second time, because David, thank you.
Right.
I appreciate you having me on, man. I mean,
well, I just didn't have anything planned this week, and I'm like,
I see how it is.
You and Silas are my kind of standby buddies. So like, I'll be on the show again. I'm like, okay, that works.
I'm just an afterthought for David. Just use me to abuse me. No, I love it. I love talking books and hanging with the people and answering the questions, and I love all that stuff. It's fun. You have how many books? 1 live for each book. I have May 19th will be my 8th book. But David has 13 copies.
Well, I don't know
Eddie
about that.
has more. Eddie has more copies than that. I don't want to give the wrong number. I want to say 16, but I've said
I
the
have
number
10
before.
in my possession at the moment.
Yeah. Much love. I did not forget to sign it, Jacob. You're kidding, right? Oh, that's totally unacceptable. Stay tuned, bro. I right my wrongs if I can. So, I could have sworn I signed it. Oh, now I feel bad.
All right. So normally we have a structure of so many comments or so many questions. Jeremy kind of knows the drill. I think Jeremy's probably read most of the questions, if not. But so I'm going to switch it up a little bit tonight.
I'm at your mercy, my friend.
Hey, Juniper. For those that are familiar with your work, how did you come up with the Haytham Saga?
Haytham is mentioned on page 88 of the Surrender Game for the first time. That's when the character is introduced into the story. And for some reason, for some readers, especially Addie and Marissa and a couple of others, the Gathar Haytham dynamic resonated with them, and they wanted to know more about that. They wanted to know how Gathar came to be the way he was, why he is the way he is, and what that Haytham storyline is all about. And I fought it tooth and nail. I did not want to tell that story. Didn't want to do it. Fought it for, oh my God, I don't know, months before I finally said, okay, I'll do it. It took 6 weeks to write it. and it became a birthday present. I didn't have to pay for anything. It was all taken care of as a big gift. All I had to do was write the story. But if I'm going to tell the Hatham origin story, the Gathar story, I got to go all the way. So that's why the Mighty Chain and Ambassador Willow, the newest one, unified everything and tied that entire storyline up. So that way, if you read the Hatham saga first, you can move right into the Surrender game with a little bit of foreground knowledge, you know what I mean? Or if you start the Surrender game and then read the Hatham trilogy at the end, oh, now you get all the behind the scenes and everything that happened behind the curtain, you know what I mean? And how the relationships really work with each other, which I found it to be a fascinating way to tie it all together, is to give Ambassador that, you know. So yeah.
Shooting from the hip, Addie Scotland, it says, we need to know why she was so important. Why was she so important after so many years? Talking about Hatham.
Are you talking about from the reader's perspective? Why Hatham is so important?
Yeah.
I think Hatham resonates with people for different reasons. She's Neuro D, she's Neuro Spice. She's strong, confident, knows how to get what she wants, and she's all over the road. You know what I mean? And for her to be such a key, pivotal character who's been deceased for 100 years, that integral in the storyline means a lot to a lot of people. You know, is she still around? What is she? You know, what is Hatham? And the Hatham Gathar dynamic is extremely unique, and people dig it, because I think Hatham relates to people, even though she's 3 feet tall and blue. You know what I mean? She would be what I classify as a powerful character. You know what I mean? Because of what she's able to do. I was saying that's why we kept asking for her story. Yeah, it was. There's been no greater reward within my writing realm than having produced the Hatham saga. You know what I mean? Bringing that all to fruition. That was a big accomplishment for me. And it couldn't have gone down any other way. Even though I fought it, Hatham's story had to be told. And I have to thank Addie and Marissa for pushing me to do it. Because that was a tough story to write. Some of the hardest writing I've ever had to do. And 30% of it was cut out. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I can go on and on and on about Hatham. She's a super fun character to write.
Welcome in, everyone. Tonight we're discussing the, if I can remember my brain, but we're talking about The Guardian War Chronicles by Jeremy Morang. This is book 1 in the series. Book 3 is releasing Tuesday next week, called The Reckoning. And he's got soon to be 8 titles to his name.
Never in a million years thought that would happen. Yeah. You know, you get to the point where you're like, okay, what do the readers want? You know, you write for your readers. You write for the people who are already with you. If they collectively get together and say, hey, write a story about the Mystic. Okay, maybe I'll do that a little later. You know, it's already there. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of getting it on paper. So yeah, there's no shortage of storytelling. It's just how far do I want to take it?
Angela says reading it all.
Oh. Much love, Angela. I love you guys.
So, I do know that you're rebranding some of your covers. You want to talk about that for a minute?
I say it all the time. I've made every possible mistake you can make in the publishing world. I've been published for 6 years, and I've done it all. The only thing I haven't done is like vanity presses. You know what I mean? I never ever went that route. But it's formatting, cover art, not getting good quality editors, you know. Granted, everything, I came into Book Talk with 3 books published, and then I published my 4th one while I was on the platform, and then Hatham took over. So it's, yeah. So like I said, I can ramble on and on and on about it. You need to rein me in, you know that, right?
I don't want to rein you in at all. The show is partly yours too. Like when you're on, you're more than welcome to talk. So that's what it is.
Yeah.
I'm just going to kind of shoot from the hip with questions tonight, but
You do whatever you want, man. I'm at your mercy. You know me, I'm always a little nervous about these things.
Now, I do know that the Surrender game cover was hand painted. What made you go that route?
There was ideas in the pipeline about, because over the last 2 years I've been doing new covers, new formatting, just working behind the scenes, and then, taking that hit and getting another edition out, you know what I mean? But it was necessary because my design work for cover stuff was all over the map. There was no consistency. There was nothing that tied it together and made it look good. And so I just decided to okay, let's start with formatting. Let's get all the formatting done, re-upload it, work on the covers last. And then out of the blue, if she's still here, Molly Jones offered to give something a try. And I said, yeah, go for it. And she put out, she created the new Atlantis Paradox cover, and it's art, it's absolutely stunning. And then she did book 3.
She said she's here.
Yeah, I am here. Okay. Talking about the cover art. And, when moving forward, she knows what the consistency is. She knows how it should be all played out. You know what I mean? It just made sense. It was the right move, I could have gone with stock images that I bought off a Facebook group for $75, or actually like really, if we're going to go in, we're going to go in all the way.
Yeah.
And now she's doing my cover art. So just good changes everything's been like an evolutionary process, and it just keeps getting better and better and better. And yeah.
Molly and I are just busy staring at the antiques.
Of course.
Molly says she'll try not nice things if you try to that.
I realized the part of the question that I missed earlier. Rebranding to me was super important. If I'm going to take my craft seriously, my storytelling seriously, I should probably put some aesthetics to it as well. Don't leave it the way it is. Make it better. And I think that paid off because, oh my God, if you've seen the Atlantis Paradox cover, the new one is night and day, 1 trillion times better than the original. There's no comparison,
I'm still
just
waiting
takes it to the next level.
The shipping problem, getting that one, but we'll see. I think I have like five books in queue or something that are on the way. Addie says, "What are your 2 favorite things about Hatham the character?"
One would probably be just her overall uniqueness. She's a fully fleshed out 3-dimensional character, and she's been gone for 100 years. In the Surrender game storyline. So just that level of uniqueness and how she exists and where she exists and how she operates is probably one of my favorite things about her, because she's so dynamic and I can do all kinds of fun things with her. But the other favorite thing is the fact that she's made some kind of impact on people. Marissa's read it 12 times. Addie's read it 8 times. she's a favorite, and the fact that she's other people's favorite just makes it all that more special. You know what I mean? Because there's no one quite like Hatham. I know, Molly. I learned my lessons the hard way.
I think some of us have.
But we're on track now. You know what I mean? Everything is all caught up to itself. So everything that's moving forward is just the best quality product I can put out into the world. The best editors, the best dev editors, the best.
Angela says talking you to do a merch.
The Truck Stop One brochure. My favorite thing is her strength. Yeah, she doesn't take anything. She's up in your face about it.
I love how she doesn't sugarcoat things. If she wants it, she'll get it.
Well, Addie, I made a video about it recently. There's nobody else on earth I trust with my work more than you. You've been so deeply entrenched in my universe for so long. You might as well be an extension of it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I would never have it dev edited by anybody else. No way in hell. Yeah, she lives unapologetically. She'll tell you how it is and the way it should be, but then be right there to help you anyway. You know what I mean? She's pretty interesting. And all of my stuff is action adventure. So she's just this entity within the bigger story, but has a huge impact on the story. Because if not for Hatham, Gathar wouldn't be who he is. You know what I mean? And Gathar has to be who he is in order for him to do his thing, right? But without Hatham, she's that one constant in the universe. I like to say that Truck Stop 1 is the center of the universe, but Room 17 is the center of the multiverse. Everything stops and starts with Hatham.
So we're talking about this one right now.
Yeah, that's Gathar Willow's origin story. The events that led him to become who he is when you read about him in the Surrender game. Yeah, it's just fun. It's fun to be able to move all those paths around fluidically,
Now, I know you have 5 companions out right now, right? Is there plans on other ones that you want to talk about?
I do have a couple of companion novellas. Right after I published Hatham, not thinking that the Mighty Chain had to come next. You know what I mean? I started writing the missing years between the events of Hatham and the Mighty Chain. And I gave it a little nickname and I started calling them flashbacks. You know what I mean? Because Gathar's ongoing development over those years is super important to who he is now, right? I just leave all that space. I just leave that alone. There's a decade of missing space, or 2 decades of missing space. So coming back to those stories, I could do novelettes and get the job done. You know what I mean? Okay. Just keep it really simple, really clean, quick little 2-hour episodic things or whatever. I do have Tyrell and Marquina's origin story about 12,000 words in. That's called The Dicorian. That's back burner for a while. I think it's an important story. It helps with the lore and tying other things together, which is super fun, but it's not at the forefront of thought at all. But it's got a good start. Well, outside of that,
the Guardian War Chronicle chump change. That's a good size. But amount of work.
I need Tyrell's story so badly, but I know it's going to shatter me. It's a fun story to write. It's,
Welcome in.
I just got to get it done.
Hey, man. We're talking to Jeremy tonight, the author of the Guardian War Chronicles, and we're talking about his series. So
It'll come out. It'll definitely be out someday. I've got to get the primary series done. I'm going to give myself 2 years to get it completed. I don't think that that's out of the realm of reason. Volume 4, I'm about 7,000 words into it right now, 5 chapters in, and doing a lot of heavy plotting, you know what I mean? Because this one's pretty layered. And if you read The Reckoning, you know how the layer is starting to stack up, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's a lot of books. Let's just say I'm going as fast as I can with all the restrictions in play, right? I'm working every single day. Even though I made a video and said I'm taking a small break, I haven't taken a break yet. I'm not at that point of burnout. That's the only rule. Don't burn out. As long as you can stay within those tolerances, I work. So, and I still manage to do other things too. So, there's a lot of books. Yeah, there's going to be 6 in the main series, and I have 5 companions now for a total of 11 over the entirety of the storyline. But there's no closed doors. Every doorway is still open. So even though there's going to be a book series closure at some point, the storytelling opportunities are endless.
welcome in, everyone.
Every day, we don't forget other things that are important in life. I'm trying. Yeah. How are you, Wendy?
So, for those that are just joining, we're interviewing Jeremy this week and talking about his series, The Surrender Game. And Wendy says, "Go, Jeremy, go, Jeremy." um, Now, for those that haven't read The Surrender Game, how did you come up with Liberty Bell? Because she's the high intendant of Truck Stop 1.
That's actually a really strange question for me to answer. But if you want honesty, I came up with the setting first. Truck Stop 1 to me was very unique. I wanted to create a setting first. As I'm world building and creating all these things, I hadn't thought of Liberty Bell, right? It's just world building. Then out of the blue, I had a dream of a woman with shoulder-length black hair and pointed ears, wearing a long black leather trench coat with a collar popped up, walking up a flight of stairs in this tower. And then she opened up a door, walked through, and sees this guy laying across the floor with his feet propped up on the wall, singing a song. And she just walked right by, stepped over him, and then walked all the way to the end of the hall, and the dream was over. That dream sequence became Liberty Bell, right? Because that scene is in the book. But when I first concocted Liberty Bell, she was a Southern belle with a, very frilly and very accommodating, and walking down the stairs, holding her dress all graceful and shit. That was the original concept of Liberty Bell, but no, she had to be a true blue product of her environment. And she was raised by ruffians, con artists, pirates, smugglers. So she ended up being, the way she is now. Just another take no shit, no nonsense character. Yeah, it worked out well. And the character that was laying across the floor ended up being a Zoran and named Carmel. My Southern Belle accent, Liberty Belle. How can I accommodate you today as Senator Arquines? Can you imagine? Oh my God. What a bad idea. But yeah, that's where Liberty Bell came from. In essence, she was a dream sequence. If it worked.
Everyone gets their what do you call it, studio set up, it's going to be you and Addie that narrate the series, right?
That's the dream. Addie is the voice of Liberty Bell. There's no way around it. It's never been anything but. I was looking for Liberty Bell's voice for 3 years. And then she showed up. And when she started talking for the first time, when I first heard her speak, I was like, oh my God, that is Liberty Bell's voice resonating in my head. Mm-hmm. And then I just reached out to her and said, what do you think? And she said yes. And I was so convinced of it that I bought all the equipment and mailed it to her. So in the event it ever did come to fruition, she would just be ready to rock and roll. And then I purchased the same stuff. So, it's definitely a thing. Yeah. Stay tuned.
Barely knew each other when you asked. Quite the experience.
Right. I hardly knew who she was. Just out of the blue, I said, I'm going to ask you the most ridiculous question you'll probably ever hear in your life. Would you be willing to narrate the Surrender Game? And then it just kind of went from there. Because I asked her to scream the F word as loud as she possibly could. I said, just do this one thing for me, please.
That's the addition, right?
She goes, yes, I am not going to do that. But, yeah.
Welcome in, fan. We're interviewing Jeremy tonight, talking about his Guardian War Chronicles series from book 1 all the way through his, let's just say, his March release, because I'm not getting into spoilers tonight. But it does. The Reckoning does drop Tuesday next week, and we'll be on a brief hiatus while Jeremy is releasing that book. So,
yeah, I'm really excited. It's a story I'm super proud of. It takes place over a short period of time. It's super necessary to the story. And then everything that happens after that is just, we're going on a ride. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm really excited for what's to come. It's the most fun I've ever had storytelling. No, not even a question.
Now, I know you've done a cover reveal. Is there anything you want to talk about the 3 ships that are on the cover to like maybe get people intrigued in picking up that book?
It all exists in art form right now. I don't have any physical copies. They haven't come to me yet. Proofs are on their way. They're just not here yet. So I can't physically hold up anything for the Reckoning. But there's videos of it on my channel. Numerous videos. Molly Jones, who's down in the comment section, I'm sure she has access to it. What's the scariest part of writing and being an author? I'm not scared of the writing anymore. To me, the entire experience is all based on process. Got to do this first, this next, this next, this next. Get it to this person, do the things. Process. So I'm not scared of the writing thing anymore. The scariest thing about being an author, oh, dude, rock on. The scariest thing about being an author to me is, I don't even know if it's like a fear. You know what I mean? In a small way, the imposter syndrome never truly goes away. You either focus on it or you don't care, right? I do my best to always be saying to myself, you need to be doing this. This is important stuff. You need to be doing this. But people who don't do it have no idea the amount of work it is. You know, and all these things, there's all these nuances, and that can be a little scary sometimes. You know what I mean? Because all you want to do is put out the best shit you can put out, right? You want people to latch onto it like you're latched onto it. And for me, for an author, there's no greater feeling than that, right? The fact that I can talk to people about my work with other people who are involved in my work. There's nothing greater than that. I think cancel culture can be a little scary. So I feel like some people, tiptoe. You know, um, some of
Did you
those little
see?
aspects can be a little nerve wracking sometimes. I wouldn't say scared. I'm not really scared of anything. I'm terrified of doing book signings, live events. Won't do it. Right? That's like air travel. I won't fly in airplanes. I'm not going to be comfortable in a book signing convention type setting. Right? I exist virtually. Maybe that's a problem, but it's who I am. Those types of things can be scary. But
What was that? Tap dancing shoes?
look like tap dancing shoes.
It's in moonwalk.
Addie is just not in the realm of reason right now, right? There's so many things happening in life where it wouldn't allow me to do something like that. It's not out of the realm. It's like the same reason why I haven't gone wide yet. You know what I mean? I'm still just inside Amazon. There's reasons for things, and book cons are just a lot of risk and reward there. Right. First time and last time I was on an airplane was absolutely terrifying. All set.
I mean, I can relate to that. I don't like to fly if I don't have to. And given I mainly flew in helicopters when I was in the military, I don't think I flew in a single commercial jet while I was in the service. Everything was a helicopter. It's probably why I
What's up,
don't want
Joseph?
to put on a ship. But anyway, appreciate you all coming in, supporting us tonight as we're
Yeah, hell
thinking
yeah.
about
Much love.
Jeremy's series. So far, what's been the hardest book to pen?
The hardest book to what?
The pen to actually write out of your 8 books that you have out coming Tuesday.
The hardest one emotionally to write was Hatham. You know what I mean? The hardest one to physically write, like, I'd have to say The Reckoning. Getting it from point A to where it is now. There's a long period because The Reckoning was already written and it was self-edited countless times. And then I sent it off to Addie. Then Hatham became a thing. So Hatham became the focus. Hatham was a year and a half of work. So The Reckoning has always been just waiting, right? Once Ambassador got published, I went right back to The Reckoning and did more self-edits because it had been a while since I put eyes on it. Okay, now we need to do some rewriting. It's different now than it was back then. And going through that manuscript 2 or 3 more times before then giving it back to Addie and saying, all right, let's do this. That period was rough. You know what I mean? But Hatham came first. There's no way around it. There's no argument there. And now, like, everything's all caught up with itself, and I'm very, comfortable with the way things are. And I can write more Hatham stories anytime.
Just trying to get caught up on comments. Wayne says he's flown all over the earth and he lives in deserts, jungles, and have over 1 cat shots off a carrier.
I'll hate them all the time.
Welcome in,
Yeah,
everyone. We're discussing the Guardian War Chronicles by Jeremy tonight, and we're asking him questions. So if you haven't been here before, please put your questions in all caps, and we'll answer them accordingly.
Hatham is Addie. That's funny.
I made them Molly his guitar.
I'm just trying to have fun. You know what I mean? For me, at this point, it's just all about having as much fun as I can have and having as much fun with as many people as I can, right? I'm always going to take my craft seriously. I'm always going to take the art seriously, as serious as anybody here, right? I'm taking my shit seriously. And that's why I work and I learn and I read the books and I work with people, certain people, because I'm learning new stuff every single day. And I'm really trying to apply all that knowledge to future work. So I'm taking it really seriously. And I can't take myself too seriously. I have to find a way to have a good time because it is so much work, not just writing and publishing, but then marketing it all. You're a solo entity until other people are helping along the way, right? So my weekly candle budget, I've actually let it diminish. There's only 3 lit right now, and there's 1 on my desk. I need to go get more. Definitely. But they're $6 a candle.
That's not bad.
No. And they last forever. It's like, hey, Addie, where can I buy long-lasting candles? Because, this shit costs money. You just get them at Walmart. $6 cheapos. She was right. They last a long time.
I got candles I can send you, she said.
I love candles.
From the shop.
I can't do writing unless a candle's lit. It's like ritualistic at this point.
Speaking of that, when you can actually sit down, you're not at work, what's a day of writing entail for you?
If I'm distraction free, probably the first 20 minutes of the experience is going back up a little bit and catching myself up. Because I'm all about flowing or trying to work through the flow and the transition. You know what I mean? So I have to get myself into the headspace of the story again and then catch myself up. Sometimes I self-edit along the way. And if I'm in a free flow stream of consciousness, just typing words, I'll just do some vomit dumps and then clean them up. Rinse and repeat. Some days are longer than others, and some days are very, very short.
Sometimes you always edit 8,107,292 times.
I know that the base average would be 3 revisions, 4, right? I will edit my stuff obsessively. I don't mind rereading the story over and over and over again because I enjoy that world, right? So it's not a big chore to go through it again and then go through it again. The moment I hit analysis paralysis is when I go, okay, it's Addie's turn. But then I'll hand it off to Addie and she's like, okay, I got you penciled in 4 days. For the next 4 days, I'm still reading it and going through it and reading it and going through it. I just can't turn that off. It's the second she starts working on it, I walk away. And then I move on to the next project. But I hyperfixate on my world because I want it to be the best that I can make it. And for me, that involves work. And I don't mind the work. I'm doing what I love to do in my off time. Yes, Wendy, I edited on the first draft. It didn't start off like that. As I started slowly becoming an underwriter, editing for me became a little easier. If I feel like the document is clean as an underwritten document, when I relinquish command of it, I say, tear it apart, Addie. And Addie will say, this needs a little more description. This needs some beefing up. Let's work on this dialogue a little bit. Let's put some heart and soul into this character's moment here. And that's when I'll add a little more description to it. But I do edit as I go. My first drafts are typically my last drafts with multiple revisions. I think Ambassador Willow was 13 revisions. And then after Silas got his hands on it, we still ended up adding a small section in that we felt collectively belonged, right? Yeah, live and learn. Just got to do the work, right?
along those
I agree.
lines, I know we got Pro Writing Aid about the same time, but it seems
Hmm.
like you put out if in significantly more stuff than I have so far.
It's just a small section, Eddie. I'll tell you about it. Um, my passion for this trumps everything, right? To me, time is the only thing that I can control. I'm going to utilize my time as best I can so that I can continue to do the things that I'm passionate about. My day job doesn't define who I am, right? I do this because A, it's important to me, and B, people also enjoy it. I have to keep doing it, right? I need to be doing this. So I don't mind doing the work. If it's a 46,000 word book, then so be it. If it's an 80,000 word book, so be it. I'm just not going to be afraid to work on it. I do like literally every day, and on the weekends longer. When I take vacation time at work for a period of time just to sit down and write. That's my vacation, is writing. So
um, I said a question that went right over my head, but I'm like, didn't write it down, right out the one other ear. Um, that being said, I've heard that you're talking about doing the Hatham saga like as an omnibus, like just for 3 books. Is there any truth to that, or are you just messing with it?
why not? It's a collection of books within the story, right?
Right?
Even though they're all companion extended universe stories, they're a trilogy. So why not make them into a small omnibus? It's not huge. I mean, we're talking like maybe this thick, and it separates. It keeps it confined within the companion stories, but it also gives it its own island, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the running joke is this was done right after my birthday, so back in November, maybe early December. Hatham made a video, and because the ongoing joke is Addie says that she'll do her stick figure cover art. Oh, you want cover art? Send it to me. I'll put stick figure on it. So that was kind of like the running joke. So the Hatham character adopted that, and she's like, I'm doing a cover reveal for Ambassador Willow. And she drew a stick figure with big black eyes and said, that's Gathar. Isn't he beautiful? And hand wrote everything on the cover. So the gag is take that white background with the black lettering and the black stick figure and make that into the Hatham omnibus cover as an inside joke. So yes, there is that opportunity. We'll see.
See if it comes to fruition, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be funny if nothing else.
Right?
When you
Wendy
move on
says
from
when
the
you move
series.
on from the series, do you plan to write something completely different?
Yeah, I'll be doing a YA fantasy series. Book 1 is already 90% done. It's already been edited to a certain degree, so there's not a whole lot of work to do on it. It's called Islands Keep, and it's a lot of fun.
Welcome in, everyone. Just came in. I saw a few new faces come in. We're
I think
interviewing
Addie.
Jeremy this week.
I think Addie is the only one that I know of that's read the first book of Islands Keep, or has read what I have out, or what I'm working on. But yeah, it'll be an episodic series in the YA fantasy fiction realm.
Cool.
Well, the premise is Truman Show meets YA Dungeons and Dragons. We'll just leave it at that.
Well, episodic, nice. I'd like to do one of those one day, Wendy says.
Yep. So yeah, I do have a couple of things in mind. I want to do at least one standalone by the time my writing journey is over. How that plays out, we'll see. I always got little ideas.
Oh, that's another thing that we've talked about, but I don't know if you have a release for it yet. Your memoir.
No. At the moment, that's kind of another back burner. It won't. It won't. It's not going to take much to write that. It's just not priority right now. Let's get through volume 4, and then maybe I can address some of the stragglers. But yeah, I've always wanted to write a memoir, and I think everything that's transpired over the years leading up to here is a fun story all in itself. And people just want things that they can resonate with. You know, why do people write memoirs? Because they feel like they have another story to tell. So yeah, I'm having fun with it. I'm about 5,000-6,000 words into it, but it's on the wayside for the moment. When you say episodic, do you mean each chapter has its own plot ending? That's a little bit of spoiler territory. I like to write in real time. So if I'm telling David in a story, hey, there's 30 minutes before this happens, based on an average reading speed, 30 minutes later of reading, the thing happens. I'm notorious for it in all my work. So when I say episodic, everything is time based. You know, think of 24. You know, an hour is an episode, or whatever the time period happens to be. That'll make sense. That'll make more sense moving forward.
Making a potato.
I'm making a potato with my cows. That is such an Addie thing to say right there.
So we covered a lot of ground already. And your book releases Tuesday next week.
The 19th.
Yeah, which is one of our special guests in the basement right now. Is Big Day.
Who?
Addie, it's her birthday.
Yes, the 19th is Addie's birthday. There's been an ongoing joke every time I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to publish yet. Addie'd be like, oh, we'll just publish it on my birthday. I was like, that's like 8 months away. I gotta do it sooner than that, you know. However, the reckoning aligned. You know what I mean? It gave me plenty of time to talk about it and have fun with videos and stuff, and be able to publish it on Addie's birthday. So it all worked out. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, Addie's a national holiday.
I just hope that my proofs get here before her birthday. Yeah. Just having fun. Trying to, you know. If you're not having fun, then what the hell, right?
Right? All right. So recapping, since we just had a few other people come in, like Emily and I think David and a few other people, but if you don't know, we're talking to Jeremy this week, author of the Guardian War Chronicles. A Surrender Game is the first one in the volume. Volume 3, The Reckoning, is set to release Tuesday next week. And we're talking a bit about his series and everything. He's got so far 7 works to his name, and it's soon to be the 8th book releases next week. Is there anything you want to say to anyone that's new to your work?
I don't think tropes are all that necessary to talk about as far as my work. I think the themes are what become the driving force for a lot of people. Fate versus free will, hope versus despair, choice versus consequence, risk versus reward. There's a lot of those types of themes, and because everything happens within a small time period, the drama and the angst and the anxiety and everything is just, it's a pressure cooker. You know what I mean? So if people are into that type of storyline, very high paced, memorable, well fleshed out characters, you might dig my work. And people who have read it, they've read everything, or most people who have read it have read everything. I just want to put out as many fun stories as I can with kick-ass relatable characters that people resonate with. I like original settings, original antagonists. I like Easter eggs. I love lore and mythology. All of that stuff is in my work. So not necessarily tropes, but if we're going to go the way of tropes, made family, found family, chosen one, and then depending on some of the expanded universe stories, the tropes will change. Tortured hero. Some have even said grumpy sunshine, but I don't believe that. Shadow daddy stuff. If that's even a trope, is that a trope?
I don't know. Heidi's probably going to tell us a big long list of tropes.
I may get yelled at here in a minute. I just want
Right.
to, be gentle. Yeah, everything is based on high stakes, or the highest stakes. Yeah, and there'll be 11 books in the series when it's done. To say the series is complete is when the 11th book is published. And I know that's an odd number, but it's got to be.
I don't see Shadow Daddy in your story, but I do see Grumpy Sunshine, Addie says.
Well, Addie, one of the things that I was told was, like, in the Mighty Chain, Cathar would be classified as that because he's going to burn the world to get what he wants. Come hell or high water. It was mentioned to me. I have to rely on the experts because I didn't even know what tropes were when I first published. Didn't have a clue. I've learned everything on the fly. Grumpy Sunshine. That is funny. Cathar Willow starts off as a cinnamon roll, and then he becomes who he is, Cinnamon roll. Anyway.
All right. So for you guys that don't know, last year my favorite read of the year was The Mighty Chain. That is the middle one of the Hatham saga, and it is one that I can relate to because here is two guys that are thrown into stuff together. They know damn near nothing about each other than they're fighting the same enemy, so to speak, and how they're able to set aside their differences put me into reminding me of a lot of my own time in the service and how you're forced to basically work with people that you have nothing in common other than the title or something, and you're like having to work through it. So that resonated with me a lot, even though it's been 20 years. But yeah, I appreciate that. And we've just been discussing the Guardian War Chronicles tonight. You can get into it. I believe it's on KU if you have it.
Yep.
And all the books are pretty affordable for the most part if you want to get a printed copy. And
my prices are literally as low as they can get. I can't go any lower. I've made everything as literally as accessible as humanly possible. But yeah, it is on KU, ebook, paperback. There are probably going to be limited edition hardcovers for the Atlantis Paradox, the old cover, that may linger for a while in Amazon. Now that the new one's coming out, I don't know if I'm going to go the route of hardcover again. So yeah, paperback, KU, ebook, very accessible.
Now, I know you're on this platform, but is there any other platforms anyone else can follow you on, or is this pretty much your primary one and everyone interacts with you here?
This is this is where I am. TikTok. Um, I mean, I have Facebook, but I haven't been active in it for 2 years. My audience wasn't there. My readers weren't there. Everybody is here, and you know, you want to be with your readers. And so, no. I mean, I have accounts everywhere. I'm just not active on anything else. Addie, my dev editor, she and I also co-host a show on Friday nights called Wordy Dirds. Um, we're working on new things for it, and outside of that, I do live streaming with authors and readers, and voice artists and narrators and cover artists, and I try to be active here as much as I can.
Cool. Jimmy and Cameron, thank you for joining. We're getting ready to wrap it up for tonight because we started a little bit early, but we talked about all the books. Tune in next Friday for a comeback of Wordy Dirt. Awesome, Addie. And then, if you guys don't know, Tuesday is the release of The Reckoning, and it's also Addie's birthday. So make sure to embarrass Addie and say, happy birthday.
Just let me ask you one question, David.
Sure.
Just one. Did you enjoy The Reckoning?
I did.
Excellent.
So,
That makes me feel better. Because I typically never ask, right?
yeah.
But if you're ARC reading or beta reading, that question may come out. You know what I mean?
Addie says you don't need to embarrass people.
Oh, much love, Wayne. If you let me off my chain, I can run. You know what I mean? I enjoy being on your show. I'm comfortable here. You know, all my people are here, and the people I enjoy spending time with. So, anytime you want to do a show, I got your back.
All right.
Thank you.
Just so everyone
Thank you.
knows, there's no show next week because Jeremy is dropping his show. It's also, or dropping his book rather, and it's also Addie's birthday. And
So yes, I will be going live on the 19th, time unknown for the moment, in celebration of The Reckoning coming out. Just a local hangout, Addie's birthday. Yeah. Now get to book 4. I'm working on it. I'm in chapter 5. I had to do some rearranging and some cutting and moving around and some, because it was just a train wreck. When I came back to it, volume 4, train wreck. There was sections I don't even remember writing this. Where were you? Right? Came across that throughout the entire thing. So I just hacked and slashed. Went right to town.
that's not what I meant to do. I want to go click on someone, but well,
I do have to say, though, I'm super excited to write volume 4 because it's a big story. But I've never been more excited to write a book in my life than volume 5. So excited to write volume 5.
So real quick, wrapping up, there's going to be 6 or 7 companions and then 6 primary, right?
There's going to be 6 in the primary series, The Surrender Game, Atlantis Paradox, Reckoning, and onward. And there's 5 companion stories right now. Expanded universe, all connected, interconnected with everything. So the series is over 11 books, 6 and 5.
Awesome. And I'm working on collecting them all. It's coming.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
I can't believe I forgot to sign Jacob's book.
No, he said he found it. It just wasn't on the same page
Oh,
that he was thinking of. He said he
I was
found
getting ready. I was getting ready to send another one.
it.
David, thank you for having me tonight, and thank you for your support.
You're welcome.
As a reader and a fan of the characters, it's all I want to do is tell those stories, and I appreciate how much you appreciate them. That means a lot to me. So, Corgi Butt.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Molly.
Next week we are meeting with Jeremy for his show or his launch of The Reckoning. Um, Time to be determined still, but there will be no show on my end next week. Um, and much love to everyone that tuned in. I know a bunch of people are just coming in, but we're breaking for this evening. And when we come back, I believe it's the 28th. Don't call me, but we'll have Brendan Raybuck and his show. So
I got his book right there behind the candle. Is Brendan's
Crimson
book.
Legacies, I think.
Yeah, Crimson Legacies. Dope cover. Thank you, Molly.
So when we reconvene, we'll be talking about this book. So, but
Awesome.
all right, y'all have a great night and much love.
Talk to you soon.
All right, bye.